2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What's up? It's your main man, Juggernaut, multi-platinum production team, Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech.
Yo, shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. Yo, listen, we're getting into the music reviews in a minute. You know what I mean? Just waiting for some people to jump on. And if you need to submit your songs, make sure you're jumping in and you're hitting the, you're logging in and you're hitting the link on the screen. And like I said, we'll wait for some people to jump in before we start doing any reviews. In the meantime, I'm gonna cook up. Hitting the like button, tapping the screen, hit the like button, you know what I'm saying? Let's get this joint to hit the algorithm. Boy Swagger, what up? Doing music reviews tonight, man. We're just waiting for people to jump on, hop on, hit the screen. We're just getting started. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're going to be on for just a little bit. Submit your joints to the link on the screen. It's nero.fan/Arkatech Beatz. It's free to submit, but of course, if you're looking to prioritize your play, you want to skip the line, that's the best chance to, best way to, enhance your chances of being played. In the meantime, what we're doing is we're just cooking up something while folks is jumping into the live stream. Make sure that you're hitting the like button, you're subscribing, you're following, you're liking and doing all the other good stuff. It does help the algorithm. We do appreciate that. The funny, the joke with that is for the last year, because almost the last year, I want to say we're close to about 10 months, right? I've been going live, and my MPC is here, my keyboard is there. I got an MPK 261 over here, and then I got an Akai Mini on the other side, right? so so you would think that I would, because it's out of the field of the camera, I just been programming all of my bass lines. Every single key that I play over the last year for every single beat that I've gone live, I do it on the pads, and I've gotten used to it, and it's kind of strange. Like it's like I've gotten used to doing it that way when I can play the keyboard. It's weird. If it's really intricate, then I will go to the keyboard. You know what I mean? But for the sake of the live streams, I just leave it here just to make folks know you could do it all in the box. Shout out to you. Listen, make sure that you guys are hitting the submit button. Nah, I didn't go. Man, listen here, man. Listen here, man. I just got a Rob Muller, y'all. I just got another one, man. Just add another name to another big name to that discography, man. Yo, when y'all hear this record, man, it's a killer. So we just working on these projects, man. I'm going crazy. I don't know how many records I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That's really arbitrary, to be honest with you. Like I do at the very minimum, I'm on here for an hour. At the very minimum, but I mean, most times it's 90 minutes. Right now, all I'm doing is I'm just waiting for folks to log in, because there are some, because basically what's happening is like this. Folks are submitting into the queue. The queue is, over the last few days, we've had maybe about we're topping out at about 50 submissions, give or take. So right now, I know there's about maybe 20 that hasn't been heard as of yet. And these are just carrying over from the previous night. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I didn't get to it yesterday, I'm just going to pick up from where I left off, right? So, I'm just giving folks the opportunity that submitted. Yo, Rob, didn't I say, I was telling cats that they was going to go out of business? Like, I knew they was going to go out of business. And the way that I knew they was going to go out of business, and I'm going to get to that. But back to the queue. I leave the queue open so folks can whoever submitted last night, I can come back now and I could, whatever. And then whoever decides that they want to skip or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But at least what happens is it stays open. I go from where I left off. So, to give everybody an opportunity to somehow, get listened to at one point or another, But I do anticipate this thing now. Like, right now I believe it's not as bad as it could be, But I anticipated that give it 30 days, that it's gonna be off the chart. You know what I mean? I anticipated being off the chart in another 30 days. Like, about when people really start to tune in and start to realize that I'm giving that real feedback. I'm not really playing around, and I'm giving folks, I'm not just skipping folks' record and be like, oh, that's trash next. I'm not doing that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm listening to people's stuff. Sometimes I'm going back and I'm listening 2-3 times, just to really make sure that I'm honing in and making sure that I'm giving them what I need to give them. So, it's an opportunity for folks, but, it is what it is. If it's your first time here, like I said, I'm Juggernaut of multi-platinum production team Arkatech Beatz. We are familiar. We are the producers for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, and I say that really, for real, because we've had the pleasure of working with legendary artists, Big Pun, Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Raekwon the Chef, Jadakiss, The Game. You know, right now, you're watching a legend being made in real time, Max B right now. You know what I'm saying? We're responsible for that. Why you do that? And that latest record, Me Too, with French Montana. Don't Let Go with Wiz Khalifa. No Biggie, man. No Biggie. We missed that one. Biggie is right before I got the first placement. Our first placement is with Pun, so he had already passed away. Who else? Killer Mike, Waka Flocka, Shorty Low, rest in peace. Trouble, rest in peace. Sci-Hi the Prince. You know what I'm saying? 2 Chainz. You hear that laugh, right? Right, Kaz? Maya. Shout out to Maya, man. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's going crazy right now, though. So, you know, listen, so if you guys are gonna submit your beats, man, submit your records, your songs, your beats, you know, y'all can submit them. And, you know, we're gonna get to that in another I'm gonna say another 5 minutes. Right now I'm just cooking something up real quick. You know, I gotta try to burn a candle on 2 ends. So strange. All right, let's jump into this, man. We're gonna get into this joint. Hold on here, man. We got the Lavish Bastards back in here. What's happening with this? Lavish Bastards got the joint called Only Fan. Shout out to the Lavish Bastards in the building. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. Make sure that y'all are liking the live. I don't see the live being liked too much, man. Like, what's happening with y'all on the likes? I can't tap the screen over there. Yeah, I can't tap the screen over there. Like, yo, tap the screen. Like, what's the issue? Like, you know, if you're on TikTok, just tap the screen. You know, on YouTube, you can only like it once, but everybody else could tap the screen. You know, we could get to, you know, several thousand likes here, man. You know, that don't cost you anything. You know, it's free. You know, to tap the screen. So Let's get that. Let's get that so that the algorithm can do its job. Let's get busy with this. Let's get busy with this. Let's get busy with this. Boom, 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 boom. Make sure y'all can hear it.
Hey boy, wanna ask you, would you do something if I asked you to? I like to see you with a light. Maybe you gon' show me what I want you to. Sexy legs and stilettos, I'm looking like a present to me. Baby, you ain't wondering what it gon' be. You know exactly where I'm gon' be. Gucci on fire, body on mine, looking like a freak. If you don't mind, I know you don't mind, you can give me that D. It's about time, yeah, it's that time. Take that masterpiece. Poppin' that wine, poppin' that wine. You wanna be my only fan. Got my eyes on you, you wanna show me who's the man. Ain't nobody else but you, and baby, that's the plan. Gotta be my only fan. Get up and subscribe. Give me good ride, good vibe. Even though I ain't online, I've been taking residence in your mind. Put shawty in a track, cause she got a good eye. I ain't tryna love, I ain't gotta do much. Oh baby, I wanna go crazy. Feeling myself like, yeah. Gucci on fire, body on mine, looking like a freak. If you don't mind, I know you don't mind, you can give me that D. It's about time, yeah, it's that time. Take that masterpiece. Poppin' that wine, poppin' that wine. Yeah. You wanna be my only fan. Got my eyes on you, you wanna show me who's the man. Ain't nobody else but you, and baby, that's the plan. Gotta be my only fan. Real talk. You wanna be my only fan. Got my eyes on you, you wanna show me who's the man. Ain't nobody else but you, and baby, that's the plan. Gotta be my only fan. Gotta be my only fan. Gotta be my only fan.
PFG, what up?
Ooh. Hey boy, wanna ask you, would you do something if I asked you to? I like to see you with a light. Maybe you gon' show me what I want you to. Sexy legs and stilettos, I'm looking like a present to me. Baby, you ain't wondering what it gon' be. You know exactly where I'm gon' be. Gucci on fire, body on mine, looking like a freak. If you don't mind, I know you don't mind, you can give me that D.
Yo, Lavish, answer me a question, man. Did she write the original song to this beat? Cause I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how she came with this particular vocal melody and performance on this track when I don't hear any musicality that drives that that drives that melody. So can you answer that for me? And I think that's probably what's bothering me with it. It's like it seems to contrast the music slightly, and like it's a good vocal performance, and I think it's a good song. You know what I mean? But it just seems like they're not married together. So that's what I'm like. I'm listening to it and I'm like, like how like how normally you'd have a song where you would catch the bop, and it's like what I'm saying, like it's like yo, she sounds so good, and I'm like, why can't I seem to You know, I don't know if if she wrote it to the bass line, or if it's the constant the ding 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 that's throwing me off. I'm not sure, but it's something with it that's a little weird to me, and I can't really put my finger on it. But I'm feeling as if that's what's throwing it off for me. I think that it's produced okay, right? I don't see anything that's technically wrong with it in terms of like, you know, where the instruments are, or, you know, the sound of the vocals, or the tonalities. She doesn't sound like she's off pitch. You know what I mean? So these are all good things. So, you know, good vocal performance. I like how she wrote this record. I think that it's written intelligently, right? In terms of, you know, content wise, it's not too racy, and it's doing what it needs to do. It just feels like to me like as if it's like it doesn't. I don't know. It's like it's hard for me to catch it. So I think that's just my thought on it. I don't really have a hardcore issue with it, but I feel like it could be like, I feel like it needs something that's going to be like, I feel like it doesn't seem like it rides the beat to me. Maybe I'm bugging out, but
It's about time, here's that time. Take the masterpiece. Popping the wine, popping the wine. You wanna be my only thing. Got my
and then I see that there are some portions of that you try to put leads on top of it to follow her vocal, but the initial melody in the record doesn't do that.
eyes on you, you wanna show me who's the man. Ain't nobody else but you, and baby, that's the plan. Gotta be my only fan. Get up and subscribe. Give me good ride, good vibe. Even though I ain't no lie, I've been taking residence in your mind. Put Shawty in a track, cause she got a good eye. I ain't tryna love, I ain't gotta do much. Oh baby, I wanna go crazy. Feeling myself like, yeah. Gucci on fire, body on mine. Looking like a freak. If you don't mind, I know you don't mind. You can give me that dick. It's about time, yeah, it's that time. Take the masterpiece. Popping that wine, popping that wine. Yeah. You wanna be my only thing. Got my eyes on you, you wanna show me who's the man. Ain't nobody else but you, and baby, that's the plan. Gotta be.
It's like right around there now. It's like it feels like it's lagging behind the music, you know. So that's my take on it. My take is like it seems like there are portions of it that don't seem like it's in pocket. And I think that's what's driving me nuts. And I'm like, okay, well, why doesn't it feel like I can catch a bop? It's like because it doesn't feel like all of it is in pocket, and it feels like some of it is behind the music. Some of it doesn't feel like it's on the music. And like I said, I feel like her, like, you know, for her melodies and her background vocals and her ad libs and everything and her stacks, everything is done precise as it needs to be done. Whatever you guys did in terms of her auto tune and all that other stuff, I think that stuff is good. I just feel like for some strange reason that this song doesn't necessarily seem like it's landing in the pocket of the rest of the music, and to me, it's not marrying the way that it should, or the way that it could marry. I think it could marry better. You know, that's my take on it, man. You know, but I want to thank you for always, you know, having the courage to submit the joints. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. I don't know. It could be melody timing. It could be a little bit of both. But I think what happens too is that, you know, we can sometimes try to do something that's so different, you know, that we can be pushing ourselves into no man's land. You know what I'm saying? Where we can be looking to be doing something that's so unique, or something that's never been done before, that we can be going into territory that people just don't get. You know what I'm saying? So like you will expect your music to land, and it doesn't land the way it should land, because it's like, okay, it doesn't remind us enough of something that we're used to. And, you know, it has to have a balance. It has to have a balance of having some sort of uniqueness, and then have something that reminds us of something that we're used to, so that we can digest it. You You know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of us kind of lose this thing where we talk about doing things that are unique. Sometimes it can be so unique to the point where it's too hard to digest. It's too big a bite of food at the time. People can't chew that. So, you know, you got to kind of break it down so that it's digestible into smaller kind of parts that it can really sink in, and then we can get people, once we can get people reeled in, then we can kind of show them, you know, the different flavors and how this joint can really, you know, how everything goes together, you know. But yo, shout out to you on that, man. That one's called Only Fan, man, by the Lavish Bastards, man. Make sure you follow on that, man. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out. Damn. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. I was gonna ask you that. Is there videos for any of her tracks? Cause I see you got a few songs with us. You got anything out that's out? Jump into that in a little bit. Richie, what's going on with you? How are you? About to jump into this next joint in a second. You know, old man got to catch his vibes. About to get into this next joint. This joint is called Wings by Kyle Tendo. Not this joint. This is something that I cooked up on the MPC. You guys can't really see my MPC, but appreciate you, brother. He's like, yo, 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, man. Follow the progression, man. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, y'all ever watch that old school Looney Tunes and he's trying to, what's his name? Got the explosives under the key for Bugs Bunny. Old school, and he's like, yo, this is wrong, you dumb bunny, play it again. You know what I mean? It's wrong, play it again, you know? That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I'm about to jump into this joint called Wings, man. Hold on, is that in his music or is that my audio? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not clicking. That joint sounding crazy just now. Sounding wild right now, man. That joint sounded like it was, like, you know, I heard of some vinyl clicking, but what happened? This is Kyle Tendo. That's Kyle Tendo, man. This joint was called Wings, and it's a different vibe. It's definitely a different vibe. I think it needs a little bit more. I think more music needed to kind of change inside of it, the way it was working. I don't feel like the vocal performance is strong enough to hold a person's attention long enough without any like musical changes occurring. And if you're trying to promote it as a song, I think it requires that. I think it requires just some sort of dynamics or musical changes or build-ups or something like that to kind of help the listener through the song, right? Now, if we're not going to do that, then we have to have a stronger vocal performance. That's just my take on that. You know what I mean? So, it's a little long for something at that tempo and at that pace. So, it's a little over 3 minutes. So like about 3:25, give or take. So, those things I think will work against you in a social media microwave environment. And and listen, man, I sometimes I hate to give that type of feedback that like, yo, man, stuff is too long. You need to kind of get to it. Boo, boo, boo. And I kind of hate to do that, but from a producer standpoint, we always had to remember that when we were always playing music, to make sure that when we had our ideas that we got to it when we were proposing stuff to the artist. And then once it got recorded, we could go back in and then we can kind of make things a little bit longer, pause, or we can do whatever we want to do with that back where we got, in the mix. But now we've gotten to the point where everybody's attention deficit, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's microwave. So it's like, you have to think about the culture of swiping. And it applies to music. It doesn't just apply to, it applies to music, it applies to your videos, it applies to content, it applies to everything overall. So everything is really like in a swipe culture, man. So it's like, in your music, you got to get to it, And if you're not gonna get to it, it has to be extraordinary, right? Meaning like we have to have music that's so beautiful that we're mesmerized. We have to have a voice that's so angelic that we feel like we're meeting Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that's gonna hold people. So if you don't have those things going on, if you don't got music that's like really like jaw-dropping music that starts off immediately and is jaw-dropping, like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, that's so great. And then if you don't have this voice that makes people go, like, how are you going to keep their attention in order to make sure that you get the qualified play? And I think that's the battle that we're having right now when we're talking about these type of songs. So, that's my take on it, man. Like, outside of that, I think that, the mix could be a little bit better in terms of your vocals, where your vocals could come up a little bit. But for the most part, I think it's okay, but I feel like in what I said is in terms of like, some musicality changes and maybe a stronger vocal performance would make us, get locked in a little bit better. You know what I mean? Not too, I don't really have too much, opinion on the song. I don't think the song is out of sorts. I think that it's, I think it does what it needs to do. You know what I mean? For what he's trying to do with it, at least. But shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. Make sure that we're liking the live, sharing the live, doing all the other good stuff. We're doing music submissions tonight. Music reviews. Make sure that you are submitting your music. chat. I need a name for the beat, man. I was working on it right before I got on the live. So I need a name for the beat, man. I don't have one. Help me with that. Born Ready, I see you. Thank you for your gift. Appreciate you. This next joint I got here is called What Happened to Us. Hold on. It says rock version. Let me make sure of that. Yeah, What Happened to Us, rock version. Joseph Schwartz. Mr. Schwartz, are you in the building, Mr. Schwartz? Got like a real, what you call it, like a surgeon general name. Mr. Schwartz. Ultimate Fire. Oh man, boy swagger. Ultimate Fire. He said Gestapo. I'm gonna jump into this joint called What Happened to Us by Joseph Schwartz. Give me 1 second. I like that, Riz. Days gone by, I like that. We're going to Spotify with this one.
I was sitting here wondering what happened to you, but I meant what happened to us. It feels like I've lost you forever. It feels like it's bigger than us. It feels like we're being fucked with. It feels like we're under the bus. Messages exchanged in endless scroll. Ideas twisted in a storm of memes. We were seduced by whispers. Now all we hear are screams. Now we both like different colors. We both sound just like our friends. What will our worlds be like after this nightmare ends? What happened? How did it come to be this way? How did you go so far astray? Can we be friends again someday? I'm thinking about these fuckers that make money from our fear and hate. I hope they get a taste of karma. I hope they reap what they sow. We said we'd be friends forever. Now you're somebody I don't even know. It feels like I've lost you forever. It feels like it's bigger than us. It feels like we're being fucked with. It feels like we're under the bus.
That was Joseph Schwartz. What Happened to Us? This is the rock version. I don't really have any hardcore feedback on it. I think it's a good record. I'm just trying to determine if it's AI because that's what it feels like to me. You know what I mean? It feels like it may be AI, and I'm going on the Spotify page and I'm not seeing any artist images, so that's kind of leading me to believe that it may be that, especially the way that it ends. Typically, some AI songs don't really fade out; they kind of just end abruptly, and that's how you can kind of tell, like, in the beginning, for folks who are just doing a direct output and aren't fading the record out. Because the way that Suno was doing a lot of these records, if he didn't have the studio version, their music was warping, right? So if you were trying to export the stems and trying to chop and do all that stuff, you had to do a lot of work to get it to loop correctly. But I don't have. I feel like between the guitar solo, between the the guitar solo's ill, the vocal performance is good. Sometimes when I listen to that stuff and I hear the lyrics that have the like how you have these AI songs that have these perfectly, how would you say that? These perfectly harmonized curse words, right? Like that sometimes is the AI giveaway, right? It's the perfectly harmonized, curse words, lyrics, right in the middle of the hook. You know what I mean? So, in my brain, I feel like this may be an AI record, and from what I'm seeing, what's happening now, Billboard said that they look like they're about to open up a chart for the AI by itself. So, if that tells you that it's here to stay, it's not going anywhere. Once they start being able to chart and once they're able to earn money, everything like that, then that's what it is. Yeah, it's all I don't see anything here that's it looks to me like it may be an AI artist, which is fine. You know what I mean? I don't knock that. We're doing music reviews tonight, folks. Rick said to name this joint Days Gone By. Shout out to Rick. I like that. He said no dropout, everything in sync. Yeah, pretty much, right? We about to jump into the next joint. This joint is called Ven Aquí. Ven Aquí. For those who have ever been to DR, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Ven Aquí. Come here. By the Suave Don. Yeah, man. Y'all better get y'all Spanish good, man. We about to play that joint in a minute. I don't. I feel like. And I feel like. I feel like once that vocal comes in, it's like you just kind of take the air out the room, bro. It's like it doesn't. It's like it's so like. I guess it's so monotone, and I guess it's meant to be on a smooth vibe. But it's like to me, I don't feel like it goes well, man. You know what I mean? I feel like it doesn't go well. I feel like it feels. Nah, it's not distorted. Maybe I'm playing it too loud. In my headphones, it sounds pretty straight. Um, yeah, in my opinion, it's just kind of a, like people say, hey, you got a song that's hit or miss. This is more like a miss. Nothing wrong with it fundamentally in terms of like, the vocals and where everything is at. Like fundamentally, I think it's sound. You know what I mean? In terms of, like I feel like it's where it needs to be, but I just don't think it's a good song. And then it's a little bit long at 3:41. I feel like how can we improve this? I feel like this vocal performance. There's a West Coast vibe. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hear the Tupac cadence. I hear it, man. It's just to me, it's just not done well. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like if you're gonna do it, you got to do it well. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it well. So shout out to Suave Vaughn. Appreciate you for submitting this one. That drug was called Venaki. For my future producer folks, man, what I'm thinking about jumping on tomorrow for my future producer folks at about maybe 7:30, and my folks that are part of the Future Producer Society. I want to just have a quick jump into the call. But that will be inside of the portal. I'll be using the live function inside there. I need to kind of test it out, make sure that we're good with it. But I will be using that just to kind of go through the platform, let folks understand what we're going to be doing and, how we're going to be getting to it and really trying to get to these bags, man. Like, I think it's very important for folks to, not only build their skills, but also to make sure that they understand that they know how to monetize and, protect and monetize your music and all that other good stuff. So for those folks who are part of that, I'm looking to probably see if we get a notification now sometime midday tomorrow. I just need to make sure that I can adhere to that schedule, only because I got a few things that's going on in terms of getting this next project done. This next project is going to probably be out toward the latter part of next month. So As of right now, Max B and French Montana got the #1 rap record in the country. Ever Since You Left Me, most added at Urban Radio. You know what I mean? So it's on fire right now, folks. So, you know, for my folks who's joining the Future Producer Society, make sure that we're jumping in. Make sure you're jumping into that. Let me see. I'm gonna do this joint right here. It's called Valiant. What's this here? This is Valiant, Life is Love. What's this? Little Life is Love. I'm trying to figure out what the name is and what the name of the song is. Trying to figure that out. If you're in the building, man, please tap into the building. If you're in the building, tap in, tap in. And we're gonna listen to this joint real quick, and I think I got time for maybe one more.
The kid is nice, but the bars isn't mean. She flipping through air like Starstream. Hidden hype, so even the farthest scream as the envious, jealous, hating, and the rawest themes. This is a fatality. Dun, dun, dun. As claws split quickly. From kidney to kidney, there is a pause. The body falls flawless victory. Remembering when we couldn't get a clue, how we balled through the mystery. And when I didn't have shit, who was missing in the call list? History. So you can keep your two-faced, cut-eyed, backstabbing trickery. Just add it to the bitch inside talk. He say, she say, gas and snickery. It may be everything to you, but know that it doesn't mean shit to me. I still stay by later than Christmas tree. Broke it down, then double round to flip the bridge. Right, left, ooh, you have got to hold strong. Even when you may stand up. I will fight till the end, long after hope is gone. Funny, valiant warriors, but who lingers on? Fight on, valiant warriors, until you are in front of that road. This mountain way too strong. Like left, for you have got to hold strong. Even when you may stand alone. This mountain way too strong. Wake up, roll a blunt of that band just to face the head. Then I get through my day. Started with the chase for making bread. Moving 100 miles per hour, winded wheels replace my legs. In the field for them yard running scrambles like we making it. Seeing the right people can get you rich, but seeing wrong thing will make you dead. I have learned it's not cards you are dealt, but the way that you play it. Loose lips sink ships, but if you float, nobody can say shit. In this world that's so black and white, you are bound to see those gray bits. And when you stay this high, floating in them spaceships, say time is money, so I let it waste. When 24/7 people be dropping like the bass, still the lies got supplying schemes. Cause the hate jokers mad because they girl trying to top the king like the ace. I'll drop that thing with the brace, point the beam, ping and erase. There ain't no time for playing games or room for mistakes. But you gotta make sure the family's straight. Ooh, with the weight of the world on your shoulders, yeah, move with grace. Mashing the gas like they remove the brakes like light left, right, left, ooh, you have got to hold strong. Even when you may stand alone. Like I will fight till the end, long after hope is gone. For the fire that lingers on. Like dawns and warriors, until you're in front of that throne. Those battles, ways. Hey. soul. Strong.
I could tell you this, man. like AI makes it sound too perfect, and I think that's gonna be the downfall of a lot of folks who's using that. Yeah, and it's like it makes it sound like, you know, like we used to always strive to try to get that type of sound in terms of like trying to produce your music to sound that way. But now when everything starts to sound that way, then it takes away, you know, it's going to take away from it. And now we're going to start looking for more imperfection in music. Like, we're not going to be looking for everything to be stacked up completely and totally correct and everything like that. Like, we're going to start listening for the human error in the music, that is, you know what I mean? I feel like the verses on these are too long, and I feel like, you know, I know you said that you're the songwriter on this. I feel like where we may have to condense these verses, the song is, you know, well over what? How long is that song, man? Let me make sure I'm not tripping what I'm looking at. Yeah, like 4 something. You know what I mean? And look, you know, like, you know, this is good for what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, there's no knock to it at all. You know, it's just AI. What I'm probably going to start asking folks to do is, like, when you're submitting this, to tell me that it's AI off the rip, and then, you know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to AI songs, it's like, you know, it's done a certain type of way that will sound technically sound, right, in terms of all the layering, the vocals, the instrumentation, and all of that. But what will stand out is, how did we write these songs? Like, you know, did we make it too wordy? What did we do in terms of making it, you know, too long before it gets back to where it needs to get back to in terms of the hook? And I think that's the case here, where we have these very long verses that are kind of all over the place, you know, that are like, you know, just kind of trying to cram everything into that 4 minutes. And I think that's probably what was like the giveaway for me. Like, okay, you know what I mean? But outside of that, I think outside of it being too long, I think this can be shortened by maybe a minute or so. You know, I think it's a decent record, you know what I mean? I think if you promote it to the right audience, you might get it somewhere. Also, you know, records like this are good for sync, you know what I mean? And like to Big Riz's point, man, this is where you have to learn, you know, appropriate songwriting, because remember, with the AI will fool you, man. The AI will make you feel like everything is being sang so wonderfully that we're forgetting about, you know, creating the appropriate song structure. Like, those things kind of go out of the window because we get caught up on how good it sounds. We get caught up on how, you know, you can't believe that they're singing these lyrics like this, you know. But we have to make sure that we're following the certain song structure, because the AI will play certain games with you in terms of shortening things or making things longer than they need to be. You know, so that's my take on it. Yeah, you can cut the verses. But I appreciate you for submitting. Look, I'm about to jump into maybe one more joint. If anybody's looking to skip, now is the time. I'm going to give y'all a minute. So we gave it away was the curse word sounding fancy. Yeah, like, AI always knows how to make the curse word sound the best. Like to me, that's a dead AI giveaway. Yeah, if you're trying to learn the business, you got to go to the, make sure y'all jumping into that school community, Future Producer Society. Make sure y'all jumping into that. I'm going to listen to this last joint for tonight. This joint is called Lost Souls Rough. It's a rough draft by Michael or Michael. It's Michael in the building, you know. Let's jump into that.
It's J
I've been
Mark.
battling my vices, working hard to make it righteous. Did it wrong, but I fell in love with Pisces. The way you love forever priceless, and I spent it telling lies, but fantasize that you're with me till I'm lifeless. I only hope you felt the same way. More hard to maintain, still gave you reasons to never trust me in the slightest. If I could go back and change things, it would never lay waste. Do better with what around me seem to be enticing. I'm being followed by these false prophets. I'm missing soul and astray, losing all gold and faith. Where the trials, mistakes, I'll stand my own long as it takes. Feel the pain from shoulder weight. Left it cold and isolated, feel alone more now of late. We were blind, just leading blind and find ourselves along the way. And if we're coasting through this life, we'll need more than total rain. Lost souls on long roads. For every night we make it home. New city, new license, take a ride, the blunts and roll. It can be just you and I, we can drive it coast to coast. Lost souls on long roads. In the night with vision low. Time is passing by, we can lose it before you know. May not stand the test of time, I just pray you make it home. Pray you make it home. Picture framed of better days, cleared our page of scattered paint. Faded hues, immersing blue still coming to your aid. You held your darkest colors and it still will come and save me. Wonder how you feeling lately. Wish that I could read your mind, left in the hands of fate. Thought the time won't fall behind, a fool to think would say. Done with corn and wishing was, but wish you would've stayed. And then we fall back in the I was born to fight, who say this the easy life? Even when I'm broken, damaged, pain helps us to feel alive. Just know that you're not abandoned, our souls more than intertwined. And if I can thread a needle, we'll end up with dress and tie. Lost souls on long roads. For every night we make it home. New city, new license, take a ride, the blunts and roll. It can be just you and I, we can drive it coast to coast. Lost souls on long roads. In the night with vision low. Time is passing by, we can lose it before you know. May not stand the test of time, I just pray you make it home. Pray you make it home.
I like that joint. It got a nice little vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice little vibe to it. I think it could be mixed a little bit better. It's a little hard time, hearing it, the vocals. I think the hook is okay. It's like this. It's like when I listen to it, it's like I don't expect a big voice on it. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what I will have to make sure that I'm not, being biased toward hearing a bigger or better singer on certain things. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's more about the melody and the cadence and getting a particular performance in pocket that is kind of like able to be digested and sang along with. And I think that this is kind of where it could be, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's a little bit of shakiness in the vocal performance that I think could be better. Right, and I think that's pretty much where I'm feeling with that, and in the mix I feel can be a little bit better. So I feel like the vocal performance could be tighter on this, in terms of the verses, and even parts of the hook. I think it could be a little bit tighter in terms of its delivery, and making sure that we're getting the kind of energy and cadence that we need to kind of get this thing over the hump. Outside of that, I think it's structurally sound in terms of like how long the record is and where the hooks fall, and how the lengths of the verses are set up. So I think from a songwriting perspective, I think that it's technically where it needs to be. But I just feel like the lead vocal performance to me could be a little bit better for me. That's my take on it. That's my 2 cents. And as I get ready to wrap this thing up, make sure folks is jumping into that Future Producer Society portal if you're a producer. And if you're not a producer, if you're an artist and you're looking to learn the business, this is going to be a good place for you to learn the music business. I'm basically I'm going to be giving guys real-time case study, right? So I'll be talking about, the most recent developments in terms of our recent placements with French Montana, with Wiz Khalifa, the process of how those things occurred. And then also there's a process behind it, right? A process of having to do the paperwork. And then there's a process of having to, deal with certain things as it relates to paperwork, and then you having to make certain judgment calls in terms of, okay, do you make this call in terms of, for you to continue to do your business? Do you try to stand on certain things? Where do you make concessions? You have to kind of think of a big picture. So, a lot of times, none of the stuff is cut and dry. You know what I mean? And I think, and I want to make sure that I'm offering the most realistic view of what happens in the business. I remember first getting into this thing, and I remember reading like Donald Passman's book from cover to cover. All you need to know about the music business, and then expecting things to go that way, and after doing Pawn and after doing that, and then having a very long stint with Raekwon and those guys from Wu-Tang, that's when I started to learn that, what's in this book is not how the music business works, at least on the urban side. It doesn't work this way, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that are a lot different. You got street politics that get into it. You got a lot of different things that played a part into it. And what I start to realize, and this is what I realized too, like I realized that the traditional music business doesn't like educated musicians. It doesn't like educated musicians because they can't take advantage of educated musicians. The music business doesn't like that. The music business doesn't like educated musicians. They like musicians to be dumb. They like I hate to say it, they like people to be young and they like people to be dumb. They want you to sign away all your rights, sign away all your publishing, work for little to nothing. Like, they don't like the educated folks. And then if you do happen to make a deal where you do real well and you handle all of your business, then what happens is if you handle all your business appropriately, like you're supposed to, and you get paid appropriately, typically they sever ties with you and you lose that relationship because they don't like to work with those people that are quote unquote difficult. So they consider people that handle their business difficult. So you have to know how to play this and read the room. So this is part of the game, and this is sort of the stuff that I want to make sure that my folks in the Future Producer Society kind of understand. This is the unwritten rules, the things behind the situation. Folks be like, oh, I got my split sheet. You can't go. When do you introduce that? I got a split sheet. I'm working on a record with a bunch of guys. I got a split sheet. Does anybody want to sign a split sheet? Nobody's gonna sign that split sheet during your session. And if you bring it up during your session, your song ain't gonna make that album. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that nobody's talking about, right? Because people get educated and want to take that straight into the studio, and those things don't mix, right? So you have to find a way to kind of, take your own personal notes, send, keep track of who did what for yourself, and when the record gets released and you have some leverage, then you can kind of, play a little bit of hardball. But even if you do that, you take the chance of ruining your relationship for future work. So it's very, very, very tricky, man. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we got to kind of talk about, different stuff that's going on. Shout out to everybody that submitted songs tonight. We'll be back on here tomorrow. at 8 o'clock. And listen, we're gonna try to get this thing, try to keep this thing going. Trying to see if folks, what they folks are submitting. Hopefully, folks are, and taking the feedback and implementing it and making things go. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. And like I said, for my folks inside the portal, just look out for something. I'm gonna try to figure out like what's gonna be the best time to jump on. I may just jump on either before this or after. So we'll figure that out. So we'll figure it out from there. But peace to everybody, man. everybody that's in the live, man. I'm about to jump out of here. I was just trying to finish this little cook up. But yo, for those who are gonna be submitting, we'll be back on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure y'all sitting, y'all shooting them, shooting those songs over, man. Let's go.